One of the biggest unsolved mysteries in Andor is who is Luthen Rael. Many speculate he is a Jedi, potentially Rael Averross from the book Master and Apprentice, and Rael was an apprentice of Count Dooku's, and it would explain the amount of artifacts he has of Jedi origin and political connections to Mon Mothma. And Val, Mon's cousin, even says that Luthen is something we will not speak of when talking to Cassian, implying that he could be a Jedi, and Andor's down payment was a kyber crystal for the Aldhani heist. He also carries some suspicious looking staffs. Luthen operates a rebel network and spying operation based on Coruscant out of his Galactic Antiquities and Objects of Interest shop. He always has an inside man, whether it's Saw Gerrera, ISB spies, and even Andor. Interestingly enough, the characters he interacts with don't seem to know who he is either. It seems every time he meets with his connections, it's about once a year or every couple of months. Saw Gerrera even questions him on this too.
You have people everywhere, don't you?
You're avoiding the question.
All of your sources.
Try to concentrate.
Someone with Krieger? Someone at ISB? Maybe there's someone here, with me.
The only person who seems to have a personal relationship with Luthen is Mon Mothma. He also possesses an upgraded Fondor hullcraft and expert piloting skills, adding to the mystery of who is Luthen Rael. For the next couple moments, I'm going to assume Luthen is a Jedi, and I think there's a lot to decode from his character in this monologue.
And what do you sacrifice?
Calm. Kindness, kinship. Love. I've given up all chance at inner peace. I made my mind a sunless space. I share my dreams with ghosts. I wake up every day to an equation I wrote 15 years ago from which there's only one conclusion. I'm damned for what I do. My anger, my ego, my unwillingness to yield, my eagerness to fight, they've set me on a path from which there's no escape. I yearn to be a savior against injustice without contemplating the cost, and by the time I look down, there's no longer any ground beneath my feet. What is my sacrifice? I'm condemned to use the tools of my enemy to defeat them. I burn my decency for someone else's future. I burn my life to make a sunrise that I know I'll never see. Now, the ego that started this fight will never have a mirror or an audience or the light of gratitude. So what do I sacrifice? Everything!
He states he wakes up every day from an equation he wrote 15 years ago, to which there is only one conclusion: he is damned for what he does. Let's assume he is Rael Averross from Master and Apprentice, on the basis that the name Rael is the same and some very minor shared characteristics between Luthen and Averross from the book. The Andor show takes place during 5 BBY, meaning Luthen's equation in quotations would have formed during 20 BBY, meaning the Clone Wars was already 2 years in. Rael Averross was an apprentice of Jedi Master Dooku, and at this time Dooku would have been seeking allies. Asking Rael to join him, his former apprentice, who was much like Dooku, a controversial Jedi who struggled in conforming to the Jedi Code. If Dooku informed him of Darth Sidious's plan to kill the Jedi, he would be forced to join the dark side, and on the other hand, rejoining the Jedi would lead to his death. There's only one conclusion: he is damned for what he does. He also states he shares his dream with ghosts, potentially implying Force ghosts. Interestingly enough, the name Luther translates to soldier of the people, and the name Rael also translates to innocent as a lamb, meaning the name Luthen Rael is translated to be a soldier of the people, innocent as a lamb. He also states in the same monologue, "My eagerness to fight has set me on a path from which there is no escape. I yearn to be the savior against injustice. I have made my mind up in a sunless place." The name Rael in a biblical sense means Lord of the Light. He also states in the same monologue, "I have given up all chance at inner peace. The Lord of the Light has made his mind up in a sunless place." One of the first two things he says when he is questioned about what he sacrifices is kinship and love. The kinship of the Jedi Order and the love that he could not have if he was in the Jedi Order, meaning he's abandoned both the love and kinship of the Jedi Order and potentially his lover. He has given up all chance at inner peace. I know this is a bit of a stretch, but Star Wars does plenty of wordplay with all of its characters and metaphors and allegories all across Star Wars, and I can't help but think that this monologue has some sort of key semblance to who he is as a character. A deeply conflicted person on the inside who has to hide himself on the outside. Whether he's a Jedi or not, he's a founding member of the rebellion who works in the shadows, and the mystery of Luthen Rael will continue. So with that, subscribe if you would like, and until next video, goodbye.